Good evening and welcome to War Thunder. I'm Old Dead Man, your host. Today we're looking at some BR changes coming from Gaijin. This is the updated list from the first batch I just put out just a couple of days ago. So they put a bunch of them out there. I've had to sort through and parse them out and put them into a database so I could figure out what Gaijin had already posted and what they hadn't posted yet, the new things and the old things and the things that they removed. So there may be some mistakes, but if they are, they're mine. I've included the link in the description below to the actual post, so you can take a look at all the details yourself. That way you've got the full information. Much like the last time, I've sorted these into country, then vehicle type. We'll just jump on those real fast. We'll start off, I'm going to put the naval chart up real quick here. Pretty straightforward on that. There's only one that was significantly different. That's the IJN Agano is now in realistic, going from 5.3 to 5.0. No big deal. That's a good change, but it won't actually change its matchmaking to speak of. Now let's jump back up to the top of the list and see what we have going on for the Brits air and ground. First up, the Spitfire F Mark 22 is going from 6.3 to 6.7. Good aircraft, got a lot of the same features as the Mark 24. It should be able to support a 6.7 BR without any issue, especially in ground RB and the like. Next up, the Hunter F6 is moving from 10.0 to 10.3. We discussed the Mosquito FB Mark 18 previously. However, now the change in RB has been removed, and it is only showing a change in arcade. So just keep that in mind. On the ground, the Archer is moving from 3.0 to 2.7. I am really not surprised. Not only is it easy to kill, it is a pain in the butt to actually aim and fire unless you get used to driving really slow backwards. In a similar vein, the Achilles is moving from 3.7 to 3.3 and will be dropping to rank 2. So, while the gun is good, the turret rotation sucks. Moving on to the Chinese tree, the Key 27 Atsu is moving up from 1.3 to 1.7. I think that'll make zero difference in its effective matchmaking. Should be just as good there as anywhere else. The Q5 Early is moving from 9.3 to 9.0. Nice little drop for it. Similarly, the Q5A is moving from 9.7 to 9.3. On the screen, I'll put the chart for China, so you can take a look at that. Give it about 5 seconds so you can review that. And that's everything, all the changes we know for China. That should get you all the arcade and everything else as well. Over in France, the MB152 has actually been dropped from the change list, so it will not be changing as far as we can tell at this point. But the NC223.3 will be moving from 2.3 to 2.7. I think that's just because of the enormous bomb loads the thing can carry. For the BR, that's pretty low stuff. The MB162 is moving from 4.0 to 4.3, and it may have been a case of mistaken identity as with the MB152. But this is what they've got listed in the chart now as the MB162. And on the ground, the SAU-40 is dropping from 2.0 to 1.7. Germany overall has had the most movement of all of them, but we'll start off by popping up the entire list of changes for you so you can take a look at those, including the arcade changes. Okay, now the ones that caught my eye are the JU-87G1 is moving from 2.0 to 1.7. Most of these Canon aircraft tend to do that just because they are a pain to use. Not that there aren't people that can probably pop every tank in a million miles with them. I'm not one of them. But the JU-87s, when you give it the recoil of those cannons, tend to stop flying a lot easier than some of the other stuff. The HS-129B2 is dropping from 3.3 to 3.0. The Do 335A0 is dropping from 5.3 to 5.0. The ME262C1A is going from 7.7 to 7.3. Considering its competition, not terribly surprised. The MiG-21MF and the F4F early are dropping from 10.7 to 10.3. The Panzer IV F1 is moving from 2.3 to 2.0. And in a shocking twist, the Panzer IV-G is moving from 3.7 to 3.3. This thing's good enough. You could actually up tier it all the way to 5.7 matches and maybe even higher effectively. Not sure what they're thinking on this one. They must be seeing something in the stats that I'm not. The Befehlswagen Jagdpanther and the Jagdpanther itself are both moving from 6.3 to 6.0. And the RU-251 is, for the first time it seems, moving up from 6.7 to 7.0. It doesn't surprise me. It can easily support that and may in fact go up again, even though it's a premium at a future date. The Leopard 2K is not changing battle ratings, but they are adding the DM-23 to it as a new shell for it. The Jagdpanzer IV-5 will not be changing BR, but they are planning to make its default shell the Hesh DM-502. And the M48 Super will be trading places with the KPZ-70. I can't remember what it's actually, Kanonenpanzer, I think, maybe? 70. Anyway, the KPZ-70 and the M48 Super are going to be swapping places. That makes sense that the M48 Super is going to be dropping from 9.3 to 9.0. Now let's give you a few seconds to see what's coming with Italy. And in Italy, there's a bunch of other changes, but the main ones that are affecting the realistic battles. The P108A Series 2 is moving from 3.0 to 2.7. And the HS-129B2 Romania will be dropping from 3.3 to 3.0. Now, previously, I identified the vehicle here. This is a Cintaro 1105, and it'll be moving from 8.0 to 8.7. It is also planned to replace its initial shell with the M456. The M735 shell will be added to the first modification level, and a DM-23 to the fourth. It's also going to be changing to rank 6. Now, we've previously addressed the other changes in Japan, so I am limiting this down to just the one item that is actually changing on the realistic side. Here's the whole chart right here. And the Ki 27 Atsu is moving from 1.3 to 1.7. By the way, Sefen. Ki, Ki, Ki. Over in Mother Russia, we have a few more changes. Here's the chart. And we'll start off with the other unmentioned changes previously. The Su-6 is going from 4.3 to 4.0. The MiG-21 PFM and the MiG-21 F-13 are both dropping from 9.7 to 9.3. I swear I mentioned that one before, but it isn't showing in my current chart, so I must have screwed that one up. The LA-200 is dropping from 8.0 to 7.7 and will be located in the research tree before the LA-15. Over in Sweden, I'll show you the chart real quick here. In Sweden, the J-22B is moving from 2.7 to 3.0. The SAV M43 1944 is moving from 2.0 to 1.7. And the IKV-73 is moving from 3.0 to 2.7. Over on the US side, we've got a whole bunch of changes, I believe, in arcade, only a few for realistic. So let's throw the chart up here. Okay, great. And let's flip over to the US tree and start off with the XP55. This puppy is going from 4.0 to 4.3. The gorgeous B29ABN is moving from 7.0 to 7.3. Now, if they'll tie that to a price reduction in its repairs, I'd be even more delighted. Because I think that at 50,000 smackers per wrecked plane, it's too expensive to reliably fly an air RB. And you're never going to bring it to speak of into ground RB unless you're just got a death wish. Or you're trying something silly, admittedly. And the F8U2 is moving from 10.0 to 10.3. I suspect that's pretty much all about performance in ground RB. All right, that's everything for this time. If you enjoyed this video, give me the old thumbs up. What do you think of these changes? Are they good, bad, ugly, indifferent? Do you think it's going to make any difference to how you play War Thunder? Let me know in the comments. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in War Thunder.